Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Delicious Bites, and I'm back. Back with another video. So, you guys, today I am going to craft, and this is not a craft with me. I just felt like sitting down in front of the camera and going through this witch's hat that's going to be transformed into a elf hat, and I've never done it before. So, we're going to get into it together. I'm going to move you guys down so you can see my hands. Don't really need to see me, so let's go. So normally when I'm crafting and I'm doing something with one of the witch's hats, I would take off all of this. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it because it's going to get covered with some batting, and I want the batting to kind of stick on its own before I add ribbon to it. So, and this batting is like the kind you would use to make a pillow. It's not the blanket batting I had before, but that's okay. That's why I'm leaving the tinsel on. It's going to help make this stick. And it's going to give it a white background so that you don't see the black through the ribbon. Just covering it up. Now the only thing I am going to take off, and you guys, I'm winging this. Like I said, I've never done this quite this way before. The only thing I am going to take off is all of the black tinsel off of the brim of the hat, the bottom of the hat. That's going to come off because that's where all of the deco mesh is going to go. So we're going to pull this off, all of this. If you can see, all of that's going to come off. Guess we should have took that off first, huh? Told you, I'm winging it. Stuff just comes to me. You know, I watch videos and then I kind of figure out what I want to do my way, and then I go for it. And sometimes I don't watch videos, sometimes I just go for it. I've always loved to craft. It's always been one of my favorite things to do. Guess I should be using my wire cutters and not my scissors. Even though the wire is thin, it can still mess your scissors up and make them dull. And then when you get ready to cut fabric, your scissors don't want to cut it. So, in order to save time, I'm not going to keep going with this. You guys know how to take that off the bottom. Now that I've got all of the tinsel off of the brim, off of the brim of the hat, I'm going to go in with my wire cutters and I'm going to cut all of these little pieces right here out. All of these little points. They need to come out. There we go. Cut all those pieces out. Don't cut your brim off. Cut all those pieces out. And then we're going to add batting to the back. Got all my batting on the front. That was already on there. I'm just going to flip it over and add some to the back. Some of this polyester packing. Just smooth it down as best you can. That's all I'm doing. Told you, I've never done this. I am winging it with you all. And I'm not going to glue this on because when we start wrapping it, it's going to stay. I hope. So I'm just smashing it down smashing it down. Okay. Just like that. Try not to have too many of those little black pieces in there because the whole purpose of covering it was so that the black didn't show. So you don't want to have a whole lot of little black pieces peppered around in there because you don't want them to show through. So what I'm going to wrap it with, instead of using deco mesh, I'm going to wrap it with this pretty peppermint and silver striped ribbon. See how it goes, you guys. I like to start at the top. Always make sure you know where your hanger is. You're going to keep that out. And I like to go over the little tip of the hat like that. And then to make that stay, I just start wrapping around it. I would do it this way if I were using deco mesh, so I'm going to do it the same way. A lot of people attach their deco mesh with pipe cleaner or with, what are those things, zip ties. I don't. I just start wrapping and start gluing. So I'm going to let my ribbon fall because it's going to be easier for me to control my wrap. I'm just going to keep wrapping it until I get it all the way covered. See how I brought that tie back out once I saw it? It almost got closed up. Brought it back out. And just keep wrapping. Okay? Just keep wrapping. So now that I've got it fully wrapped, I'm going to cut the end off and hot glue it down. When I got to the bottom, I ended up having more batting than I needed. As I wrapped it, it started to push down and come out the bottom. So I just pulled it out. You don't need it, you don't need it. There's still more sticking out. I'm stuffing it back in. So all I'm going to do is cut this peppermint ribbon and hot glue it down. And I just folded it to make a neat edge. I just folded it under like this. See how it's rough right here? You don't want that rough edge. Just fold it under and it gives you a nice neat edge. And then you're just going to hot glue that down. And this is what it looks like. Okay? Taking my lint roller and just getting the black glitter off of it. That's what I do. I just take my lint roller, clean up my space, get all that black glitter off my work area because it's going to keep getting caught up in the hat and I don't want that. So just doing a little cleanup. So now I have my red deco mesh tubing. And I also have red deco mesh. And I also have some smaller ribbon. This is 5/8 inch and this is 5/8 inch. We have peppermint and we have the elf feet. So we're going to make some bows. Set these over here. And I'm just going to use up this whole row as much as it will give me. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to measure these out to about 6 inches. And I know that seems small. Actually, let's go 7 inches. I'm winging it, like I said. Most crafters, when they do this, they do like 20, 30 inches. I'm not. I've successfully made beautiful, full, and thick, fluffy witches' hats, scarecrows, and all of that without using 30 inches of deco mesh or 20 inches or 10 inches of deco mesh. Between 6 and 7 work out really good for me with this witch's hat. So we're going to get all this cut up to 7 inches, and then we'll be right back. So just keep cutting these 7 inches. All right, you guys, so when I cut it all off the row, I ended up with about 24 of these. Matter of fact, not about, exactly 24 of these 7-inch rows of deco mesh. And it is going to make a nice ribbon, a nice bow. You can scrunch it, or you can just let it roll upon itself and push it down in the middle. You can roll it this way and make it long and skinny. I tend to just let it roll upon itself into a cylinder and work with it from there. But some people will take it and scrunch it like this and do it this way. Totally up to you. Whatever way you want to do it, totally up to you. So you got 24 of those. So you're going to need 24, or however many you can get, 7-inch pieces of this deco mesh. Hopefully we'll get 24. We're going to start cutting 7-inch pieces. Now that the deco mesh is all cut up, the cylinders or the tubing, we are going to start cutting 7-inch pieces. You can do 6 if you want, so it'll be just a little shorter. But you're going to do, since we have 24 deco mesh, we're going to do 12 and 12 so we can mix it up and give us 24. So you're going to cut 6 to 7 inches each of ribbon. 6 to 7 inches, 12 and 12. 12 pieces of this one, 12 pieces of this one, 6 to 7 inches. Now you're going to take your chenille stems, fold them in half, and cut them in half. You want to cut 12 of them in half because that's going to give you 24 ties. And you need 24 because you have 24 of everything else. Now we're going to make our bows. I'll show you both different, both ways that I'm going to do them, or that you can do them. I lay my chenille stem down. I leave this like it is in its roll. And then I just put this in here. Put a piece of ribbon in there. And then put a piece of the deco mesh tube in there, and then I just pick it up, and because my pipe cleaner is already on it, it makes it easy to, well, I just took it off, but it makes it easy to wrap. You're just going to wrap it like this, fold it in half, give it 3 good twists, or more if you like. I usually just twist it 3 times, and that gives you your little poofy bow that we're going to put all around the brim of the hat. So you're going to keep making these until you're all done. And just so you guys know, you don't have to have this. This is my homemade version of the bow maker because I wasn't going to buy one. So I just made my own. So you can hold it in your hand and do the exact same thing. But when I'm making huge bows, my hands lock up, so I tend to use it more for that. But for making these little ones, since it's not so much fabric in my hand, I can usually get them done very easily. We'll do another one. I'm leaving the tubing as it is. I'm not changing it in any way. I'm not scrunching it. I'm just leaving it the way it is and adding these two pieces on. Putting this in the middle, folding it over, scrunching it between my fingers and twisting it. And then you get this bow. Okay? So now that all our bows are done and put together, we're going to start attaching them to the bottom of the frame. And I like to go evenly on each side. So I will start over here in this corner, and then I will go over to the other corner, and I just go back and forth, because it helps me not to end up with one side bigger or fluffier than the other, or missing, you know, holes or anything like that. And then I'll go back at the end and I'll cut all these tails off. So I'm going to put one in this corner as well. And I just go back and forth until it's all filled up. Put one over here. And I give it a couple of really good twists. This is busy work, just kind of mindless busy work that you can do while relaxing, listening to music. You know, have your little glass of wine or your coffee or your hot toddy, whatever it is you prefer, and just do this. And it's just fun. And I'm putting it on the middle piece for right now. If I feel like I want to put some down on the lower piece, I'll do that. But right now I'm just doing the middle wire or middle piece of plastic. This is how it's looking, and we'll keep going till it's finished. So you guys, this is what it's looking like once we have all of the bows on that we made, but because I'm not happy with it, I think it looks a little sparse, I'm going to make at least another 15 bows or so, 16 bows. That'll give us about, what do I have on here, 24? That'll give us 40. Yeah, if I make another 16, that'll give us 40. So I'm going to do that, and we'll be back. All right, so now I'm back, and I've put on all of the bows. There is 40 of them. So this is what she is looking like. And right now I'm going to go on to the back and cut out all of the chenille stems. Make it nice and neat. Cut them down low, but don't cut them too low. You don't want it to unravel. So we're just going to cut these off. Just like that. Just to make it neat. I keep starting and stopping because of time. I don't want to run out of time while you guys are watching me do something repetitiously. So cut all those off and we'll be back. So I have some silver bells, and I'm going to attach a bell at the top of the hat instead of a cotton ball. And I like that they came with some silver cording. So you can, if I can get the silver cording untied, so you can tie the bell on to the cord and then either hot glue or sew the bell onto the tip of the hat. I tend to like to sew things, especially things that I am selling, because I don't want it to fall apart. I'm going to just thread that through. These bells came from Dollar Tree, as do 96% of all my supplies. Sometimes I get ribbon in other places because Dollar Tree ribbon this year is not as good as it has been in the past. So, at least not at my Dollar Tree. So see how we have this opening here? We're just going to close that up. So I'm just going to fold it in on itself. Just tuck it in. Then I'm going to pull it down, and I am going to hot glue it. And then when I sew the bell on, it will also get sewn as well. So hot glue. And then to put the bell on, it's going to tuck it. And I'm going to sew this on. And then we'll hot glue anything that's pulling up, like this piece. I always go back and hot glue. I call that fussy work, where you go back and fix little pieces that aren't quite right. So let me thread my needle. Hold on one second. So in each of these creases where I've wrapped, I'm going back and I'm just making sure that they're secure. So I'm going back, lifting it up the crease, putting in a little bit of glue, crease, pleat, whatever you want to call it. Just making sure it's secure. Just a little dab under each one and pressing it down. All of them don't need it, but because I'm a perfectionist, I'm kind of anal, I put one in every one anyway. And then go back and just peel off any glue that's hanging like a spider web. We don't want that. Pull that off. And now all of these are glued down. And you don't have to worry about your hat unraveling. They're all glued down. So just sew your bell into the top of the hat or hot glue it, whatever your choice is. I'm going to sew mine in. So this is what it's looking like. This is the end product. We could stop here and call it done, but you know me, it's not done. We are going to hang this upside down. So we don't need this piece unless you're going to use it the other way. I'm going to put a ribbon to attach down here, but we're going to hang this upside down because we are going to stick these elf feet at the bottom. All right, be right back.